So my fantastic friend Maxine Tate joins us from Chicagoland Skydiving Center, one of my favorite DZs in the world, or DZs.
DZ, honey, DZ, we're American here.
How are you, Maxine?
I'm fabulous, thank you very much. I'm super stoked to be back up here in Chicago, and it's like coming home for me. So it's always great to see the people and reconnect again. It's just a wonderful drop zone. So I'm very happy to be back up here again.
The last time I saw you in person, you might have already done a year, but you were embarking on your life on the road. You had your trailer, your false dog, your new car. You've been many places. You've been doing a big adventure. That's your plan now. That's what you're doing. You're traveling a little bit.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, up until, let's see, the beginning of 2019, I had a very full-time job. I was the chief operating officer of Flight One, which is now a pretty large company, I guess, of educators, Canopy School. They've got about 40 instructors now. And I was basically like running the operations of the company and also all the finances and what have you. And that was a very, very full-time job, which I loved and was very passionate about. But after doing it for almost 10 years, I decided to do a little bit of reframing of how I wanted to spend the rest of my time in the sport, and decided that I really wanted to take more time to go and explore the things that meant a lot to me. So I decided to move away from my corporate life, and that was actually a 30-year career for me, and be a full-time skydiver. And when I say full-time skydiving, I'm not actually full-time all year round working. I've basically tried to create a more intentional life for myself, I guess, where I work a lot during the summertime and during the season, and then come the winter months, I only take a few gigs, but I really am trying to explore what I like to do with my life and some of the things that are more personal to me. So it's that life balance that I'm trying to achieve, and it's been really nice so far. I spent the first year traveling around with my trailer. I plotted all the places I wanted to go to in the States, because it really is a beautiful country. And then I picked up all the drop zones along the way and booked some courses on the way, and just had this extraordinary summer of traveling around back in the days pre-COVID, of course, where we could do that, traveling around up in the Northwest and even up into Canada and back down to Montana, where we saw each other, and just really enjoying my time around the drop zone life. And I've been loving it. I'm an outdoors person. Who isn't when they're a skydiver, right? So it's a different change. It's a new phase for me, and I'm loving it.
I recommend anybody to go on your Instagram and have a look at your winter, the skiing and the pictures and the images and the colours. Really, really worth a look. What are you doing now at CSE? How long are you going to be there? Are you going to be there all summer? And what is your plan while you're there?
Well, and I'm actually kind of working towards the World Championships. I say that with my fingers crossed, because of course we were meant to have the World Championships last year in Russia, and because of COVID it got delayed, and it looks like we're going now. So I'm here to train. I'm so very grateful. I get support from CSE, from Doug here at CSE, and also from Skydive Carolina. And I've been there for the last 2 months training, and now the weather's good here. I've come up and I'm actually doing a mixture of training and canopy courses and demo training. So right now, my main focus is to train for the World Championships, and I'm on the US team for speed skydiving. Yes, I like to go fast. So either under canopy or it's in free fall, but that's my latest jam, and that's a whole story. I've never done any vertical skydiving before, and I'm kind of an addictive student. I always want to learn something new, so I've taken on this new path to once again try and put myself outside my comfort zone, and it was very much when I started. And I'm going to be here training for the next 2 months leading up to Russia.
So for anybody who doesn't know speed skydiving, give us a quick rundown, give us an elevated brief what it is.
Well, basically you exit at about 13,500 feet. And the goal is to go as fast as you can, and they're measuring vertical speed. We use a FlySight, a GPS tracking system, and your score is the fastest average 3 seconds in the scoring window, which is from 13,500 feet down to about 5,500 feet. And yeah, it's fast. My God, it's not easy either. It's very interesting. It's not straight head down, at least as I understand it. I'm still trying to stay, this is my legs, I stay a little bit positive to the wind, and I don't want to put my rig into the relative wind, because as soon as you do that, you generate a lot of parasitic drag around the container and it slows you down. So you're in this sort of accelerated dive all the way through to the bottom, trying to get almost head down, but not quite. And it's harder and harder as you get faster to control that dive angle and to keep it super smooth all the way down. And boy, it's been a challenge for me. Like, I've never flown on my head before, so I'm well outside my comfort zone. I look like a belly flyer trying to go head down for ages, trying to break all the muscle memory. I had someone follow me out, Mike Wittenberg, who's like a star, came out and followed me and showed me the video. He's like, yeah, you need to bring everything in a little bit, you know. So I've had to break through thousands of jumps worth of muscle memory to try and learn to do it. And it's been a journey, but I love it. You know, it's nice to challenge yourself.
Well, you like that. You like different challenges. You like pushing yourself through different new things and new sports. We'll touch on that in a minute, but tell me about your shirt. Highlight.
Trying to figure out which way around it is, but highlight my demo team.
That's the one.
Well, yeah, I've got this extraordinary opportunity. I have this amazing team with an amazing mission. And there's 13 of us, all women, arguably some of the most talented women in the US on this team. And we have the support to go out there and use skydiving as a metaphor to bring matters of social justice to the forefront, and to show people that if you do push yourself outside of your comfort zone and do it again and again, it's a very empowering feeling. And our mission is to encourage women and girls to lead bold and brave lives of their own design, which is exactly what we're doing. And we get to use skydiving to demonstrate that, and to go around the country to various different events, and to show what we're able to do, and encourage women and girls to go ahead and do the same as well, to follow whatever their dreams might be. It doesn't have to be skydiving. Yeah. But, you know, one of my favorite quotes is from an extraordinary woman called Billie Jean King, who says, if you see it, you can be it. And so for anyone or any woman that's ever done a demo before, if you go there and you take your helmet off and they see that you're a woman, it's a major surprise and a very empowering moment. And we just did a demo into the NCAA Women's Softball World Series in Oklahoma. And one of the commentators put up a post on Twitter afterwards with a video of us landing saying, I don't know why I'm crying, but I am. And any young girl that sees this should believe that they can go out and do whatever they want. And we were just like, oh my God, that's amazing. That's exactly the message that we have. Yeah. And this is the platform that we've been given. And we feel very grateful and very, very motivated.
It's absolutely brilliant. I was doing some commentary, well, from here, watching, actually not commentary, I was watching when they were doing the centennial jump. And I was in tears watching that. It was just such an emotional, especially knowing all you guys as well. It really was. Yeah,
I mean, and this is one of the things that really sparked the team. It was this team is the brainchild of Amy Schmalecki and Melanie Curtis, supported by the Women's Skydiving Network, and it came about because, of course, we had just had the centenary, the 100-year anniversary of when women got the right to vote through the 19th Amendment, or at least some women, not all women. Women of color and people of color came later in 1965, but it was the 100-year anniversary, and we wanted to speak to that. We wanted to elevate how important that message is, and to have it in the year in which we had the general election, it really was the perfect timing. And ironically, we went through it in COVID, so we didn't know whether we were still going to have all these demos, but we did, and we had them without audiences because of COVID, but we were able to pivot on that and do live feed and really be able to reach out there into the virtual world to really elevate the message and to really encourage people to vote and to use their voice. You know, that's really what this is all about. And boy, we had one hell of a turnout in the general election in 2020. So, you know, it was the perfect time to do what we were doing.
Maxine, we're talking about, you know, empowering women, empowering young girls to fulfill their dreams and reach for their potential. Can we go back to you as a young girl? And I want to find out about, you know, what your influences were and what your upbringing was like, because you got involved in quite a lot of things as an early age. Can you tell me a bit about how it all began for you?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I was, as a young kid, I've always been pretty independent. Like, you know, if there was something I wanted to do, I found a way to do it, whether it's hustling or not, you know. I've always been involved in sports a lot. I was in school, whether it was netball, hockey, or riding. Horse riding was a huge part of my life. I started riding from the age of 5, and I rode competitively all the way through to university. And then after that, you always find a way. I think you might have done the same thing. When I did my very first skydive, it was a charity gig when I was at university in the UK years ago. I was like late 80s, long time ago. And, you raise some money and you go to the drop zone and you make a jump and it's funded and all the rest of it. So, just find a way to make it happen. I've been very fortunate. I was brought up in a family where I was never told I couldn't do anything.
Right.
And I was encouraged to follow whatever path I chose to. And so I think in fostering the empowerment of anyone, doesn't have to be women, or girls, is to never say you can't do something, just find a way to do it, and to encourage people to hustle and to do whatever they need to get there. So I'm just very tenacious. I don't think I necessarily have any specific, natural born talent or skill in sports, but I'm a good learner, and I have an unwavering self-belief that I can learn and I can get there.
Yeah.
And so far, every time I put myself more and more outside my comfort zone, and even as a kid, and the more I got to the other side, the more I recognized that I can do it. And fear and comfort zones have never held me back.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty full send individual, I guess. You survived everything you've ever done. I'm still here. And I don't give up. I keep going until I learn it. And to me, and this is the same when I was a kid as well, the learning process doesn't, you don't go out there and succeed first time. The first thing you do is fail and then fail again, and maybe fail a little bit less. Yeah. But I don't ever see it as failure. So I think the way that you look at things and the way you interpret them is very important. The failure or not achieving your goal immediately is part of the learning process, and that's okay. Yeah. So although I have this wavering self-belief, I allow myself the ability, the time to learn. And so as a kid, I just would have at it the whole time until I got there. And it's a mindset, I think, more than anything else. And I was brought up in an environment where I was allowed to have that mindset.
Yeah, for me, it was different. In my school days, I could see the other kids playing football and cricket and basketball and the other things. And for some reason, I had in my head that I couldn't do that because they were already doing it and I wasn't. And so I just felt like there was a natural barrier, but you didn't have that. So I wonder what you can do when you've got kids who think, well, they're the football team, I'm not the football team. How do you encourage somebody to think they are?
I understand what you're saying. And I think a lot of it comes down to the way we show people what we do. And this is definitely, I think, a critique of what some of the, more experienced athletes do is we only show the end story. Yeah. We show the glory at the end and we don't ever show the journey. And I think the more that we have that conversation with people about what that journey looks like and all of the ups and downs along the way and how hard it is sometimes when you have a crappy week and you have to pick yourself up and keep going. Yeah. So that's the important conversation, is what that journey looks like. Yeah. And so, if you have a kid or whatever that's going through it, just encourage them to recognize that even their idols that they're looking at have been through this. Mm. And we should share more about the ups and downs of our journey in order to demonstrate what it takes to get there. It's all hard work. It's not easy for anyone, but we need to be a little bit more honest about what that looks like.
Yeah. I mean, for you, you're one of those rare breed of aviators who've actually found themselves in a good job, a corporate job, before they got involved and joined the circus like the rest of us. But you were there in London, you were at the peak of the thing, and I'm sure you were, doing really well. And to take that lifestyle and to move away from it, I've done it. Probably a lot of people watching have done it as well. Yeah. But what was that? Was that a spur of the moment? Was it something you knew? Was it an itch? What was it? You're in London, you're making the mega bucks, and what went on then?
Yeah, I mean, I worked in the city. I'm a finance professional by training. I'm the British equivalent of a CPA, and I was the finance director of a group of companies in Soho. So yeah, it was pretty sweet, And I even though I did a skydive back in the 80s, I decided I didn't actually, not that I didn't like it, but I didn't continue to skydive then because it was static line on a military runner. It was not the best experience, I'll be honest. But anyway, after doing a tandem later on, and decided, that I definitely want to get back into it, I started skydiving more and more while I still had this big corporate job. And I went through this kind of phase, I guess, of where do I want my life to go? I had the big job, I had the big money, I guess. I had no time. It was a corporate finance kind of job, and And I had a realization of, I guess, what's important to me as an individual, what makes me happy. And, you know, working in this kind of like 60 plus hour, 70 even sometimes a week. And I was, you know, I'm like, this is not the life I want. And skydiving, I think, was perhaps the catalyst to realize that there was other ways I wanted to spend my time, and that maybe the money wasn't the most important thing. And again, the self-belief part of it was huge, because I mean, how do you walk away from this comfortable life? And it was, you know, which I created for myself, and move into the unknown. It's like getting to the edge of a cliff and taking that leap of faith, not knowing what's, excuse me, not knowing what's on the other side, you know. And not everybody feels like they can do that. But, you know, I was single, I didn't have kids, I didn't have any financial dependency. I'd already had some financial stability, let's say. And again, I had that unwavering belief that if I needed to go earn some money, I could go earn some money. I'm an accountant, you know, I could run a business. I feel like I can always provide for myself. And I've given that to myself by generating this career. So I didn't feel like it was a great risk for me to turn around and give up the big paycheck and go and pursue something else. Plus, I also felt that I was going to keep pushing myself to be successful and to find the balance. And so I don't question my ability to look after myself and generate some kind of future for myself. And, you know, when one door closes, another opens. And I just recognized that I needed to move away and try something new. And travel has always been just a huge part of where I am. You know, knowing what makes you happy is a huge part of being able to move forward with an intentional plan. And I'm happiest when I'm walking up a mountain on my own with no headphones on, just experiencing nature and that. So to me, this was a move of self-care more than anything else. And, you know, I've got a trailer, you know, in a car and not much else. I got a lockup that's half full. Got rid of all the material possessions and no designer crap anymore. You know, I'm in skydiving t-shirts and hats the whole time. And I'm happy. I mean, that's not, I think the older I got, the more I just wanted to downsize my life. And when you don't need that much other than the experience of life, then you don't have to have the big job to go with it. And those experiences become far more valuable than any money sitting in the bank. There's probably a million full-time skydivers out there going, sorry. I mean, yeah, girls got to pay the rent, and well, I don't even have an event, so you know, got to put some food on the table. But it doesn't mean that much to me anymore to have that kind of lifestyle.
Yeah. How did you get the sensation that America was going to be your future? How did you fall in love with America? When did you decide?
Skydiving.
Skydiving.
Like I said, at the end of the day, is where are the opportunities. I left the UK in about 2006, something like that. Went to Australia. I skydived in Australia for a while, and came through the US and was doing some training here, and got offered something in the US to work. And after the World Meet in France, which is what we were training for, I just hopped on the plane and went to the US. I come through there a bunch of times for training in Paris and Arizona and what have you. And the States is a huge country. We've all got our problems. All countries have got their problems, whether it's, you know, social, political, cultural, what have you. But this is a beautiful country. The cost of living isn't that great. It's not that high unless you're in California or New York City or what have you. Like, you can actually have a decent life for yourself here. You can be in the city, or you can go out into the countryside. My God, it's beautiful. I'm in awe of some of the amazing places you can go and walk and hike and fly here as well, paragliding, what have you. I don't think I'll ever get bored of this country in terms of where I can go internally. So it was a land of opportunity, to be a little cliche there, but that's what it felt like. And I can see myself living here for the rest of my life. And I am a US citizen. You know, when I go back to the UK and I look at my family back there, I'm like, it's tough. Like, the cost of living is really high. Utilities are high. It's a small island with a lot of people on it. Like, I just enjoy the space here and the opportunity. So, so yeah, this is my home now. I've been here for 13 or 14 years.
And that job opportunity, was that with Flight One? Is that what started?
It wasn't. It was with a drop zone at the time, and I was there for a year, and then I had the opportunity with Flight One, and that was just a chance meeting with a mutual friend of Shannon Pilch's and myself. who knew me well, when Shannon said they were looking for someone to run the business. They didn't have anyone with a business background there. She put us in touch, and it was that was in 2010. So it's very fortunate.
During that time with Flight One, did you ever feel like you were slipping back into the corporate life? Did you feel like that London life was getting to you again or not?
Oh, at times, yeah, the same life without the money.
Yeah.
But I mean, you do what you're passionate about. Like for me, I've always, although I've come from the corporate lifestyle, I have a passion for growing small businesses.
Right.
And a company like Flight One is very special. Like it's making skydiving more accessible and safer to a lot of people. And it feels like a company or a mission with purpose. You know, it's not just about helping the civilians and sport jumpers out there to be able to go and have a good time, but we have a very important part of the company which is dedicated to training our military, NATO military, and it makes a difference, for that fight for freedom, and we all feel very very lucky to be a part of something bigger. And not just that, I mean, on the civilian side, I'd say, just out there teaching people how to flare properly, but it's not. It's a journey of empowerment. The amount of times that I've been out there and helped someone overcome their fear of canopy landings or what have you, and seen that moment where they go from being outside their comfort zone to within their comfort zone, and recognizing that they've conquered that fear and they've developed that skill. That is an empowering moment that translates to other areas of that person's life. So we're taking people on a sort of a journey through learning and a realization just of how capable they are. So it could be a little, you could see it as corporate, but I'm just super passionate about what Flight One does and the contribution it makes. So it was something I was always prepared to do. And the other thing I've always done is make sure that I'm surrounded by people who are much better than me. So when I joined Flight One, I was a bit of a shoddy canopy pilot, to be honest. I was trying to swoop. I was all right, but I wasn't great. And I mean, I don't really have any ego about that. I'm happy to be the least talented person in the room, because I know that the people around me are going to lift me up. So, when you're out there working with Ian Bobo, Jay Maletsky, Shannon, JC, I mean, all of these extraordinary pilots, extraordinary, Kaz, Jess, oh my God, amazing. And they helped me become the canopy pilot that I am today, which is better than I was. And I've done it again with Highlight. I'm surrounded by some of the most talented female skydivers in the world, and we lift each other up. So it might be corporate, but that's my kind of corporate if I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's amazing.
It has changed the world of canopy flight in the last 10 years incredibly. It was almost the Wild West of no instruction, wasn't it? And you're saving lives. Don't want to be too over dramatic about it, but it is saving people's lives.
It is, and it's interesting because I mean, Flight One has been around for, I think it was our 15-year anniversary last year, which is amazing. Yeah. And back in the day, Flight One was one of the very few companies out there providing that level of instruction. There was a few others like Brian Germain and Greg and Freedom of Flight, a few, but not many. And one of the great things about the proliferation of this level of education is there's so many other canopy schools out there too, and that I even find exciting. Yes. Like that, even that competition is good because it keeps you innovating. And Flight One has grown and grown, and we're constantly going through an evolution of our own curriculum and updating what we do for modern theory. And that's exciting for me as an instructor too, is to keep it moving forward. So I'm glad to see that along with that, the attitude of the skydivers is they want to learn too, and they're beginning to recognize the importance of education and continued education, which is an important part of it as well. So yeah, it's an exciting time for to be a canopy coach.
So for the rest of the summer, you're going to be there at CSE, is that the plan?
I'm here until the end of July, and then Russia, we go to Siberia. We eat meat and potatoes, bears and wolves. We've been told there's going to be bears and wolves there. So we'll see how that goes. It's exciting. One of the things I will just quickly say, because I think it's important to say, is unfortunately there's going to be a few countries that are not sending anyone in their delegations. So it's going to be a more streamlined version of a normal World Beat, which is definitely sad. You know, like we actually love competition, so it would be great to have everybody there. But we've been waiting for this for a long time, and we're ready to go and throw down with whoever can join us. You know, it's like we've been on the skydiving equivalent of Groundhog Day for like a year and a half now. So we're all chomping at the bit to go out there and to do to have a successful world meet and to at least get a competition done. Gosh, we've been waiting a long time. So I'll go to Russia and then come back, and I've got demos. We're going off to Seattle for a demo next weekend with a women's soccer team, and we'll keep spreading the message with highlight and keep on that very important mission. And then back into winter, back up the mountain skiing.
Back on the mountain skiing and more amazing Instagram posts. Maxine, it's been an absolute pleasure to see your face and to have a chat with you here this morning.
Been too long.
And I want you to say a big hello to all my great friends down there at CSE.
I will do.
Hopefully, when the borders open, I can get across to America and come and see you all. And hopefully, if the visa all works out, I'll see you in Russia.
Yes, and I'll be blogging about it too on my athlete page, so just to share the journey, because like I said, it's the journey, not the end game. So join me for that.
Yeah, so Maxine, just give us your all the websites and whatever we need. Flight One is
yep. Flight-1.com is our website for the Canopy coaching. For me personally, you can find me either on Facebook. My athlete page on Facebook is Maxine Flygirl, and that's where I'll be blogging about the world meet, and Instagram Maxine Flygirl, and TikTok, because you're never too old to get on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on TikTok too, Maxine Flygirl. And then just a note: highlight skydiving is where my team's shenanigans and our messaging is. So please come and have a look and support us in our mission to spread empowerment.
Will do, Maxine. As always, a pleasure.
Much love to you.
Day at CSE.
Back to training.
I'll see you soon. Take care.
Bye bye.